In this how-to video, I will explain how to produce a manual custom invoice at a particular moment in time. You may wish to do things like this if you do not want to wait till the end of the invoice period to produce this customer's invoice, but the customer is going away for an extended period of time and therefore need to have an invoice produced immediately, whether it's only for deliveries currently performed or some distance into the future because the customer's moving and want to pay the final account. There's a variety of scenarios, but the process is pretty much the same. Here we have a sample customer, and you'll notice that this customer has received 3 Sunday Times deliveries in the past invoice period. The invoice period has commenced on the 31st of the 3rd. What we want to do is this customer wants to stop their paper on the 4th of May, being the final delivery. So in this situation we will select the stop date the 11th to make sure that it captures the delivery of the 4th. So I'll put in this customer stop date and the reason that they're moving. So that means there is an additional 2 deliveries still in this that we want to account for, hence the 27th and the 4th. What I will do is I'll just go ahead here and change that to a value of 5 to include the extra 2 deliveries. I'll now move over to the Functions tab and I will click Cancel Account. It will remind you, if you have not already changed the delivery quantity or quantity delivered as I did before, you do get the extra opportunity to do it now as per this dialog box here. It says place the final delivery quantities next to each supplier code to finalize the invoice and then press the return key. We'll do that. I've already entered the quantity, so now I press the return key on my keyboard and it will ask me for the final delivery date. In this situation was the 4th of May. And I will click OK. It will then prompt me whether I wish to print or email the invoice. In this situation I want to print it. It will immediately produce me with a preview of the invoice. I can simply go up here and click Continue. Acknowledge the print dialog. If I click Print, it will send it to the printer. If I click Cancel, it will simply proceed forward anyway. Either way, the 2 buttons will still proceed forward. The final dialog here's account has now been cancelled. You can click OK to that. You'll notice that it stops here on the Invoices tab and you can see the completed invoice sitting there. And the customer has also been moved to the Cancel group. In the event that you need to generate an invoice completely manually without using that function, you can do so also by simply, this is a good example if you need to produce an invoice for, say, a 12-month period. A customer wants to pay for a 12-month subscription beforehand. What you can simply do is just remove the invoiceable box off the codes that it applied to, so the system does not allow these codes to partake in the normal billing cycles. You can go into Invoices. You can generate a manual invoice, say from the 31st through to the 31st of next year or the end of that year. This box here, Invoice Run Active, you will uncross that because you do not want this manual invoice to participate in your manual invoice run. You can go into Details and you can use this section along the top here to add sales to the invoice. In this situation you can say a year's worth of Sunday Times, which is 52 copies. You can click Action and it will place it down here into the sales options. This is another way of producing a forward balance. If you need to quickly do a forward balance for a customer, you can do so using this method as well. By clicking the back button, if this is an actual produced invoice you will actually click Update so that it will produce your previous and account balances. If this is simply a forward balance check, you can skip this step. You can click back and you notice the invoice total right here. If this is a forward balance that you're just checking up on and not actually producing the invoice, you can always go back into details and simply remove the sale item. And that is it for this instructional.